guys, welcome to your tapping series part 2. So if you want to dive into the basic recipe of tapping, make sure you check out part 1 of the series. But today I'm going to go a little deeper and share with you how to create your own tapping scripts with adding in positive programming for manifestation. We're going to go into some DIY sample statements that you can kind of plug in and use. I'll give you guys an example of some live tapping, and we're also going to chat about pattern interrupts as an NLP technique and why it makes tapping more effective and how to use them and some ideas for those. So we went over the basic recipe in the first video and really went over the points and all of that. So if you need a refresher, check that out. And so in experimenting with EFT and trying out lots of different teachers and methods and reading all the books and listening to just every podcast, because I am a 1-3 projector in human design, I really need to go deep into things and gain as much knowledge as possible. And then I like to experiment with it and see what works and then share it. So this is just kind of my favorite ways to amp up your tapping sessions and see kind of faster, more effective, more efficient results, which also is what I do best as a projector, is make things efficient for you. I feel like my eyelash is coming off. Nope, we're good. Okay. So let's start with how I create my own tapping scripts. So you want to get clear first on what you desire from the tapping session. So in general, what are you working on? What is the end goal? What are you manifesting? So let's say, as an example for today's video, you want to blow up your business. So get a piece of paper, write that out at the top of your page, and then you're going to write down every single reason that your brain starts telling you that this isn't possible, that it's not available to you, anything that's kind of like an argument against what you want. And if you're having trouble coming up with things, try adding a time frame. So I want to blow up my business within the next week. What are all the reasons my mind is saying that this isn't possible? So this is just a really, really good way to discover limiting beliefs. So some things that come up for you could be I don't have enough time. I'm not creative enough. I'm not good at selling. I don't charge high enough prices. I'm an imposter. People are going to talk about me and judge me. I'm going to fail and be even more disappointed. I've been trying and failing. I've been trying forever and it still hasn't happened yet. It must not be meant for me. Just once you get that list all out on paper, and don't worry, we're going to release it all. Then you're going to take each one and write out what you want instead, or a different perspective that you can take on it that feels better. And I highly recommend that one. So for example, instead of saying I don't have enough time, you could really reframe that to be I don't actually need that much time. When I'm in alignment, everything just flows. It's all in perfect timing. It comes really easily. You don't actually need that much time. You need alignment. Instead of I'm not creative enough, it could be I'm ready to unleash my creativity that I know exists within me and wants to come out. Instead of I'm not good at selling, could be I give myself full permission to sell my personal way in a way that feels so good to me and know that my work is helping people around the world. So you get the gist of it. So it takes a little bit of soul searching at the beginning, but this is what's going to create the most powerful tapping session, is if you really do go deep and really bring up all of your limiting beliefs, and you're going to reframe them into what you desire or a better perspective. And then you're ready to start tapping. So once you have all that, there's a few different ways that you can do it. So you can narrow it down and get really specific and just focus on one until your rating gets down to 0, and then you would go to the next one. You'd go through that with all of them. So obviously that will take a little bit longer, but it would be more powerful. Or you could go more general and do all of them in one tapping session. So I'm going to teach you how to get specific. I'm going to teach you both ways. So let's use an example for the specific tapping session. So let's say I feel this is a very common manifestation block. I've been trying forever and it still hasn't happened yet. And you guys could probably apply this to anything. So let's say we replace that with I'm on the verge of everything blowing up and I trust the unfolding of my journey. And then you would take your rating. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how emotionally charged is the statement, I've been trying forever and it still hasn't happened? And just notice it and see where it's at. And this is so important because you want to see what's working. You want to really experiment and make sure that you are seeing a difference in your tapping. Otherwise, you might need to go more specific. You might need to try some matrix re-imprinting, which I'm going to go over in the next video. So you've got your rating, you've got your statement, and you've got your kind of what you would prefer to believe or what you're choosing to believe instead. And then you're ready to start tapping. So you would start out with like, even though I've been trying forever and it still hasn't happened yet, I choose to love and accept myself. And you would do that 3 times, even though, and I talked about that in the first video. And then you would go through and really expand on that statement, but make sure you're not veering off course into like different topics or different areas, because we do want to stay specific to this one statement. So if something else comes up during the tapping session, because we do get into a lot of like the subconscious when we're tapping, things can come up, just stop, write it down, and you can come back to that one. So then you would kind of get all the negative out first. So you'd be like, I've been trying forever and it still hasn't worked. Clearly something is wrong with me. I don't even know what to try anymore. And I'm so tired of trying. Like, maybe this isn't meant for me. I'll never be successful in the way that I desire. And that really hurts and feels so disappointing and horrible. It makes me feel like a pit in my stomach. I don't want to give up on my dreams, but I don't know how to move things forward. I just keep failing. I've tried everything. There's literally nothing left to try anymore. I'm so frustrated. I just feel so stuck and confused and helpless. And you would just move through and just really get it out and staying specific to that one topic. I've tried everything. Nothing's working. And this is where, when you really get into that deep part and you kind of have moved through it, but you're kind of feeling that heaviness of like, ugh, that's where I would add in a pattern interrupt. And I'm going to dive deeper into that after this, so stay tuned for that. And then we would kind of transition into the positive. So in order to transition, I really like to acknowledge how I'm feeling. So even though I feel this way, and that has been true for me up till now, I am ready to move forward. I don't want to feel this way anymore. I'm ready to release this nagging belief. I'm ready to transmute this energy into what I desire. With each tap, I'm noticing these feelings fade just a little bit more. I'm opening myself up to a new way of being. Maybe, just maybe, I could begin to feel differently. Maybe, just maybe, I could let this belief go. Feeling differently is a choice. And I'm ready to choose differently. I'm ready to choose that I'm on the verge of something big. That everything I've done so far has been leading me to this exact moment. That this moment is perfect and I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. And I'm choosing to trust that I am well on my way to my biggest dreams. That there are no mistakes here. I am not behind. I am exactly on schedule. I am choosing to trust that everything is unfolding for me, that I am moments away from miracles, that anything can happen and it can happen quickly. And the only requirement here is that I keep pursuing what I desire. And that's easy because I can't just turn off my desires, and I want this. So I'm ready to own that. I'm ready to own that I want this, and I own the fact that it's all happening for me. I'm ready to choose differently. I'm ready to see things differently. And I can feel my vibration changing already. Noticing a feeling of lightness and hope. A simple perspective shift can literally change everything. And when my energy is open, things change quickly. I'm feeling more and more open as I move through this session. I am ready for everything that is coming my way. I'm trusting my journey. I am on the verge of big, big, incredible things. I'm choosing to hold the vision no matter what, and know that everything I've experienced so far is part of the unfolding. And this has given me the growth and the lessons needed to hold my manifestation when it comes. It's all happening for me. Thank you, universe. I can't wait to see what's coming next. So that is like a quick example. And if you really want like the full version and the plug and play, definitely check out my membership. You can try a week free where you can like repeat after me and that sort of thing. And you can have the scripts for creating your own statement. But then we test again. So then just notice, like on a scale of 1 to 10, I've been trying forever. It still hasn't happened yet. Where is that at now? And just notice. And you would just repeat this until you get that down to a 0, and then you would move to the next one. And that's when you can say like there's no emotional charge, and when you've really released it. Emotional freedom technique. You found that emotional freedom. So in terms of plug and play statements for your tapping, here are some of my favorites. So obviously we start with even though and we kind of say the statement of what we're focusing on releasing, I choose to love and accept myself fully. That's kind of my favorite. And then in terms of negative, you could use like, I feel this in my, really noticing where you feel it in your body. It feels like, it makes me feel, I think that, this means that, like really notice the meaning that you're giving to things. Clearly this means, and you can get like really dramatic about this, because the more dramatic you get, the better, because it's almost like your brain will actually start, like it will switch and like start arguing with you for the positive. It's actually really interesting to notice. So you could say like, clearly this means I'm never going to be successful at anything I do for the rest of my life. Like I'm just destined to be like a total homeless person, loser. Like, I don't know, I don't want to say anything mean about, but you know what I mean? Like just go really extreme so that your brain is like, wait, no, like that's not totally true. And like, funny story, I actually did this on Trevor, my husband, yesterday, because he was arguing like, you're not going to get me below a 7. He was like fixated on this one thing. And I was like, okay, well, I'm never going to get below a 7 no matter what happens. And like, he was immediately like, well, okay, not never. I'm not never gonna. And he was just like, I just kept getting more and more extreme until he was laughing. And he was like, okay, like I'm going to get lower than a 7, or I am lower than a 7. And that is also a great pattern interrupt, because the more funny and dramatic you can get, the more you're kind of like throwing your brain off. So basically you really just want to like dig into the feeling. Where do you feel it in your body? What this brings up in you. You can also go into memories. I remember the first time that I felt this, and we are going to go deep into memories and matrix reimprinting on the next video. You could say like, I don't want to. And then when we go into, the transition and start releasing, these are kind of my favorite ways. So even though I feel this way, I think that's a really powerful one, because you're really acknowledging how you feel. You're not like brushing off how you feel. You're acknowledging like, yeah, okay, I feel this way, but like I can choose differently. Even though I feel this way, I don't have to keep feeling this way. You could say like, I'm ready to see this differently. I'm ready for a new perspective. Maybe I could let this go. Notice if any resistance pops up around that. A lot of times we really don't want to let these things go. We want to be right about it. Especially if we've been trying and failing for so long, we don't want to let go of that story, because we don't really want to take ownership for that, because we're like, well, I've tried everything and like it's not working and it's not my fault and I've tried everything. So by letting it go, it's like your last kind of block towards what you want. So that is actually a really powerful one to release, because commonly could be the biggest thing that's holding us back is this story that I've tried everything and it's not working. You could say, even though I don't want to let this go, even though I want to be right about this, I'm ready to release, or I am choosing to believe, or whatever. And then you would move into your positive statements and think about putting on like your best lawyer argument convincing statements around all the positive, and really choosing these reframes to feel better, more open, more hopeful. And you're looking for a sense of lightness and relief with the statements that you choose for positive. So just really notice how it feels in your body. This is so important, because we're not trying to convince your logical mind. Your logical mind might be on board, but your body is not on board, and that is why we're doing tapping. So it's all about how you feel. You can't just like say a statement and have your subconscious take it on board, unfortunately. That's why you really want to identify how it feels in your body, and using bridging statements such as like, I choose to believe this, or I'm open to this happening. I'm ready for this to start occurring, or whatever. So that is how I would do my own tapping script and really get into the specifics. If you wanted to go more general, you would start with like the overarching statement, like, so even though I don't believe I can have a successful business, and then you would do the exact same thing that I just took you through, but you'd be working through kind of all of your statements and then all of your positive ones, spending less time on each one. So this can also work, but if you're not seeing the results that you desire, and you're not noticing a shift in how you're feeling and the results you're getting, then it's crucial that you do get more specific in order to see results. So the next step to go even deeper and more powerful would be going into your first memories around these situations. And so think of your issue as like a giant tree. And you can like trim the branches and like make them look nicer, and it can feel better. And that would be like going more general. Then if you're getting more specific, it's kind of like you're cutting off the trunk, but there's still the roots down there. But if you're really going deep and doing the matrix re-imprinting and getting into those first memories, you're like ripping the tree out at its roots. You're completely like eliminating it as even being a thing in your mind. So that is extremely powerful. I'm excited to go over that with you. Okay, and then we have pattern interrupts. So a pattern interrupt is basically a distraction to switch your brain quickly off that neural pathway that we've highlighted and change your focus so that your brain is all of a sudden like, wait, what? Like, oh, this emotionally charged belief isn't actually like that important, I guess. Like it kind of gets confused. And when we do that effectively, the brain actually physically marks this neural pathway with a protein to recycle it when you're sleeping, and then it's primed for a replacement. So the beauty of pattern interrupts is they really speed up results, I find. They're more fun, they add more lightness to the session, which I truly believe that finding like laughter and lightness in your EFT sessions is so much more powerful to release things, and one of the quickest ways to actually change our brains and see results. I think like there is such a belief that healing needs to be so heavy and hard and like it's a slog, but like I think it's so much more powerful to have fun with this where you can, obviously, and find lightness. So some examples of really powerful pattern interrupts would be like turning on your favorite song, dancing around, or if you've tried my Tap Fit videos, you'll know that I do like a 2.5 minute one song like workout as a pattern interrupt in each video. And actually, fun fact, I just learned this and I think it's the coolest thing ever, that when your muscles contract, they secrete proteins that into your bloodstream, which travel into your brain, and in your brain, they act as an antidepressant, and they make your brain more resilient to stress, that increases motivation, a whole bunch of other good things. And scientists call them hope molecules, which I think is so cute. So know that in the middle of a tap session or tapping or whatever, if you get up and move your body and contract your muscles, you're literally releasing hope molecules into your brain, which obviously is like 1,000 timing your effectiveness in terms of rewiring your brain. So that's why I'm obsessed with Tap Fit and adding in the movement portion. So you can check those out inside my membership or on my channel. Or you can do little things like look up, look left, look right, look down, like changing your eye pattern can really break up the thought process, or spelling a word backwards is always an effective one because you have to like really concentrate and take your mind off what you were thinking about. I recently started watching news bloopers as pattern interrupts, and literally it's been so powerful because I end up like laughing so hard I don't even remember what I'm tapping on. I find them so funny. You can follow like different TikTok accounts with like bloopers or fails, like anything that you find funny, try to watch that, like America's Funniest Home Videos or whatever. I also like watching like cute baby little animals because that also releases the feel-good hormone oxytocin, love hormone, which obviously completely helps us shift gears and change our brain. So I like to throw in pattern interrupts like all throughout the session, especially when things start to feel a little bit heavy. And then I was going to give you guys just a little example of like a live tapping session of just what I would do off the cuff. So let's see, what do I want to tap on today? So in terms, I feel like I have some guilt around the amount of my productivity. So because I'm trying to be more of a projector and like slowing down producing like quality, not quantity of content. I normally like to pump out something every single day. So I want to release some guilt around my productivity. So I would say, and I'm probably feeling like a 8 or a 9 of like bad about my productivity lately. So even though I'm not feeling productive, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I've not produced enough, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I have not done enough, I choose to love and accept myself. I just have not been productive. I have not put out enough content. People are not going to be able to find me. They're not going to buy my work. My entire business is obviously going to go up in flames because I took the weekend off and I have not been productive enough, and I need to be more productive or everything is just going to fall apart. It's funny how much I really believe that. I hate feeling unproductive. I want to produce so much more, but I also would like to start to see this differently because I know that it's not sustainable, and I'm a mother and I created this business to have freedom, and I would like to really experience more of that freedom. And I would like to lean into being a projector. I know it feels right in my soul that I lean into my human design, and I do trust my human design, and I trust that as a projector, the more I rest and the more I just really flow with what feels so good, the more successful I will be. So I am open to treating this as an experiment, really leaning into a little bit more rest, finding more happiness, and taking things just a little bit slower, and really trusting that my perfect people are going to find me no matter what. I do have content all over the internet, podcasts, YouTube, blog posts, TikTok, Instagram. Like, I truly am everywhere, and I trust that it's my energy that is drawing people in, not my productivity. It is what I see that is the most important, not what I do. So I am really ready to really hone my gifts and really focus on what I see instead of the amount that I'm producing. And I trust that the more that I produce better quality content, the more people will want to be in my world, and people are just going to find me and love me and want to be part of my membership, part of my courses. And I trust that. I trust that what I create is so valuable. My insights are so valuable, and productivity does not need to be a determination of my success. So that felt good. So I probably would have thrown a pattern and dropped in there, obviously, but I would say I'm at like a 5-6 now. So I've dropped from an 8-9 to a 5-6. So I would keep on going until I got it really down, but that's just an example of what I would do off the cuff of tapping. And there you have it. So you can really use tapping for absolutely anything, and the more that you practice it, the easier it becomes, and it really just starts to flow out more and more. So try out lots of different videos, lots of different teachers. There's obviously so many tapping videos on YouTube. See what style really feels good for you. Make sure that you're really testing and seeing what creates the most drastic shift for you in terms of like your ratings. And if you want to do more tapping with me, come try a week free inside my membership. I have Quantum Leap Week, which has 11 different tapping videos, 14 to 20 minutes long, that are specifically designed to release the most common blocks in terms of your manifestations and really quantum leap you to the next level. I've also got 50 plus tap fit videos with the little mini workouts in it. They're 5 to 7 minutes long. I've got like every topic that you can imagine. And if there's one that you need specifically, just let me know and I will make it for you. I've also got press play morning routines, which are around 20 minutes or less, and include a tapping session, a guided meditation, and a journaling prompt. So it's like the perfect morning routine. And I have a bunch of different topics on there. You can try out the Dream Body one on my YouTube as well. But you can check that all out inside the membership. And thank you for being here. Mwah.